Hello, and welcome to Barry's Armor Tier List. Before I start, let me just disclose, if you are a Scrooge McDuck, if you are sitting at a healthy 50 billion rubles in your stash, this video is not for you. If you often run labs, you're scrounging around for some Lidexes and stimulants, and you love to pump drugs into your system, yeah, this ain't for you. This is for normal people. Let me repeat that. This is for normal people. You are not normal. You are not the majority of players. So if you're Scrooge McDuck, I recommend you click off this video and stop watching. Alright, now that the Scrooge McDucks are gone, I can finally get into it. So I'm going to be following the guidelines that I set out in the armor video I posted the other day. That's going to be price, weight, and armor class. That's going to be in order. Most important being price, second being weight, and least important being armor class. So let me dig deeper into that. With the current climate we live in Tarkov, it's all too common that we pay 300,000 plus rubles for a nice kit, go into raid, and just die to head eyes or armpit like 80% of the time. It's really frustrating and it kind of sucks, to be honest, and you're going to be better off in the long run just getting the most efficient armor for the least amount of rubles and saving some money for more fun things like building guns and upgrading your hideout and doing other things like riding around in the BTR. Next, weight. More often than not, weight is a big factor in whether I win a fight or not. The heavier you are, the louder you are. So if you're making loud footsteps and running around like a maniac and you're really heavy, you're going to be heard by a lot of people from really far away. So the more you can reduce your weight, the better it's going to be for you. And then that last factor, the Airwingmarine class. So between Tier 3 and Tier 2, there's virtually no difference. Tier 2s can protect you from most crappy calibers that it needs to, and Tier 3 is still only useful against scavs and timmies. Most players in the game have bullets that will pierce Tier 3 at this point, so yeah, there's kind of no point in paying an extra 100,000 rubles for some Tier 3 Airwingmarine. Alright, and then lastly, I just want to mention that everything in Tarkov is personal preference. I want you to take this tier list with a grain of salt, and I don't want you to follow it quite literally. I want you to just take some inspiration, or maybe try some of the things out that I'm going to put in the higher tiers, and maybe reconsider if your armor that you like places in lower tier, if it's actually good or not. And then from there, you can build your armor with the plates you like, with the weight you like, whatever you like to do. It's different for everybody. It's not a strict system at all. One of the worst things that ever happened to this game was a lot of people just follow strictly what big YouTubers and big streamers are saying, and they don't want to try things on their own. Anyways, let's get into it now. So first up I have the Corin VM. I call this one the Prepper Armor. It has Class 2 Airwingmarine all around with some pretty nice distribution. If we look at it here, it's got 40 in front and back, 15 in the sides, 10 in the neck, and 20 in the balls and ass. This one has pretty high ergo pen, so it's going to slow you down a little bit, and it is a little bit heavy. But the plus with this armor is it does take side plates, and these Corin plates are really nice. It's also available to buy from Prepper pretty easily. It's a little expensive for what it gives you, but this armor is very efficient for what it does. My only gripe with this armor is I wish it didn't have as much ergo pen and it was a little bit lighter. Next is the 6B23-1. This armor, it's a carbon copy of the Prepper armor, does the same thing, it just doesn't take side plates and has a little less HP. Both of them are Class 2 Airwingmarine, and this one just has a little less HP in the sides as well as the balls. With that being said, it does weigh less and the ergo penalty isn't as bad, and it's really cheap to get on a flea market, so I'm putting it above the Prepper armor. Alright, next we have the 6B23-2. So a common misconception is that these two armors are the same thing. Well, they aren't. For one, the 6B23-2 weighs a little bit more, has a little bit worse ergo penalty, and it does not take the same front plates. They take the same back plates, they do not take the same front plates. That being said, it's not that expensive on flea market, but the fact that it only provides level 2 Airwingmarine just like the other two armors we talked about, I don't see why you pay extra money for this whenever you just get a 6B23-1 on the flea market. Alright, I'm going to put this one in C. Next we have the 6B13 Killa variant. So this armor used to be really good back when you could still buy it on the flea market, back when there was no plates. With tier 5 and 6 plates being banned on the flea market, if you buy Killa armor, there's no back plate. And that's the only draw to buying this armor really. And has this tier 5 backplate right here, which is specific to this Killa armor. You will not find this backplate anywhere else. You can't find it on a flea market, it's banned. You can't buy it from a trader. So if it doesn't have the plate, there's no point really paying all the money for this. It does have Class 3 Airwingmarine all around, but like I said, it's not worth paying extra money for this. But that being said, I'm still going to put this in B tier. This is still a good armor. Alright, next is the 6B13 Assault variant. So the only difference between this and the Killa armor, it has Class 2 Airwingmarine. It has the same distribution all around, but it has less HP in all the areas. It takes the same plates and it weighs a teensy bit more, but it costs far less than a Killa armor. Now, I'm not going to say that this is quite literally better than Killa armor when I place it higher, but what I am saying is that because it is more obtainable and it's going to do everything it needs to for you, yes, it is better than the Killa armor. It's going in B tier just above it. Next, we have the Rita T5 Smog. Yes, this one's also known as the Samurai armor. It's kind of funny. It's not very feasible. It is completely unobtainable. You gotta do a barter with Ragman. It's not sellable on Flea. And if you look at the weight and ergo penalty on this thing, it's kind of steep, and yeah, it protects a lot, but I mean, come on. Minus 18% movement speed, 16.5 kilograms with the plates in. I mean, do you want to be hurt by half the map? I mean, is it worth it to you? So this one's getting put in D tier. D tier, think of it as if you have it, run it. If you don't have it, don't try to get it. All right, so next is the Fort Defender 2. This one's kind of a glow up this wipe. This one seems to be more effective than it used to be. It has class 3 air mid all around. It has some decent HP if you look at that. It's got some balls armor, but no back armor, which is a shame. It does weigh a little bit, but it doesn't have that bad ergo penalty. If you look at flea market, it's not that expensive, about 120k on average. So if you want to armor with some pretty good coverage with class 3 air mid, I'd say get this one. The Fort Defender 2 is going in B tier, just above the 6B13. Next we have the Fort V.M. This one, about the same thing as the Fort Defender 2. Only difference, it's got some ass protection, it's got about the same HP all around, and it accepts side plates. But it weighs a little more, which is kind of unfortunate, and the ergo penalty is a little worse. If you look at the flea market, pretty much costs the same price on average, so you're better off just buying the Fort Defender 2. That being said, I'm gonna put it in C tier above the 6B23-2. Okay, next we have the BNTI Zhug Vests. Now I just want to start by saying that the Digital Flora and the Gazelle K are the exact same thing. These two vests are the exact same thing. All the BNTI Zhug Vests, all of them have the same plates. When I say that, I mean they can take the exact same plates and all have the same open slots, front, back, and sides. They all take Russian diamond plates in the front, and they all take universal plates in the back. The only difference, Digital Flora has a little more HP than the Gazelle, and the Gazelle has a little more HP than the Press, and the Digital Flora and the Gazelle have class 3 Aramid instead of class 2 Aramid like the Press. They all have about the same ergo penalty, with Digital Flora having the worst, then Gazelle K, and then Press having the least ergo penalty. If you want to look at the prices, Digital Flora is 220k, kinda steep. Gazelle is not much better, 200k, about the same price. Now if we compare that to the Press at 35k, yeah, you tell me which one's the better deal. Now I will say, the only bad thing about this Press Vest is that it has less HP and it's only class 2, but the fact that it even has side protection or neck protection and it can take side plates, it just makes it a really nice armor, not to mention it weighs nothing if you can get the right plates for it. So that being said, I'm going to put the Digital Flora in D tier, just above the Smog. Again, D tier, if you got it, run it. If you don't got it, don't try to get it. Gazelle is going to go in D tier as well, just above the Digital Flora. And Press Vest is S tier for me. I'm not even kidding, guys. This vest has done so much for me this wipe. It's come back in insurance almost every single time with my level 6 and level 5 plates. It has not let me down. So if you haven't tried the Press Vest already, I highly encourage you to try it with some high tier plates. It's awesome. Alright, next we have the BNTI Curasa. This vest weighs virtually nothing when you take the plates out. It doesn't have bad ergo penalty at all, and has really decent HP on the front, back, sides, and neck. It can take universal plates in the front and back, which is really nice, and it barely costs a thing on the flea market. This Curasa vest is the same thing as the Press Vest. It always comes back in insurance. It takes any plates. It weighs barely a thing. No ergo penalty. I'm telling you guys, these two right here, these ones are awesome. All right, next we have this Bralo. I'm not even gonna get into detail with that one. Let's go into D tier, below the Smog. Okay, we have the Gen 4 series of armors. So the Gen 4s, they just progressively cover less and less, and they start weighing less and less. If you want to look, this is the full protection kit. Weighs 1 trillion pounds. Terrible ergo penalty. It's got class 3 Aramid, which I guess is nice, and costs not that bad for how much it protects. So I'm just going to say right now, yeah, this thing is the same as a Smog pretty much. It weighs a little less, and it costs way less. I'm going to put this in D tier at the top. If you got it, run it. If you don't try to get it. And then we have the Gen 4 Assault kit. Yeah, this one weighs pretty much the same. Also class 3 air mid all around. It just doesn't have any of that groin protection. If we look at the price, kind of expensive. It's not that bad. And it is nice that it has that shoulder protection. If you can get some GAC plates that don't weigh as much and you take out the side plates, this thing doesn't weigh that much, but it's still really heavy. I'm going to put it in C tier, just above the 6B23. Okay, next we have the Gen 4 High Mobility Kit. So yep, this one weighs the least, has a little less HP, it's still class 3 Aramid, has the least ergo penalty, still takes side plates, and if you look, cost even less. Yep, this one's going to B tier at the top, above all the others. It's pretty much the same thing as the Fort Defender 2, except we can take side plates, and it's just a little bit heavier. Next, we have the Slick Plate, all the colors. Yeah, this thing doesn't do crap for you. It's got terrible ergo penalty despite weighing literally nothing. This thing's F tier, it's a flop. Terrible, don't waste your money. If you got it, sell it, don't run it. It's 120k to Ragman. Do not run this thing, just sell it. Yeah, same thing with the 511 Hex Grid, except this thing's even worse. It's going below Slick, it's terrible. And then we have the Hex Attack, exact same problem. I don't care about that weight. This thing covers nothing. It's going F tier, below Hex Grid. Yeah, so all three of these, they're terrible. They're just gonna get you killed. They're not good in any regard at all, and I just recommend you sell them. They sell a lot to traders. They're gonna have to patch that. They sell a lot to traders despite being terrible. All right, next we have the Trooper Armor. I already talked about this one in the video. I don't really have to go in depth. It's got the same problem. as the slick plate. Only thing it's got going for it is that it costs less. All right, if we look at the OTV, this is like the luxury trooper armor. This thing is like the Mercedes trooper armor. This thing's awesome. It weighs pretty much the same. It also is class 2 aramid with some different HP distribution, about the same ergo pen. But let me tell you, isn't that nice that it actually covers things? You guys like that? It actually helps you, actually covers stuff. It's pretty cool, right? So OTV, it's going in B tier. Put that above 6B13. I like that one. Okay, next we have the Thor. Yeah, this thing's epic. This thing's awesome. It's got class 3 aramid all around. Unfortunately, it has barely any aramid HP, which kind of sucks. But it does take side plates, which is pretty awesome. And these plates are just heavy. This isn't a heavy rig by any means. This thing's super lightweight. If you put some GAC plates in here, some side plates, this thing is the sauce. It's awesome. Yeah, so that's going in A tier. I'm putting it below the Prepper armor. All right, next we have this thing. This is just the wannabe Gen 4, or the wannabe Smog. It's got some pretty bad penalty. Weighs 5 trillion pounds. It's going in D tier, just above the Zabralo. Alright, so these are the soft armors. These things are kind of weird. Some of these have plates you just can't take out, and some of them are just aramid. So the shitty white one and the P.A.K.A., those are just aramid. 6B2 and the MPP and the Untar, those all have plates in them. Yeah, shitty white one. Yeah. P.A.K.A. Yeah. The 6B2, this one's made out of titanium. Yeah, it's going to go in C tier. Alright, and the NPP, made out of armor steel. Also C tier, and I believe it's a little cheaper than the 6B2, so it's going to go above it. Alright, and then we have the Untar, made out of aluminum. This thing's going in B tier. Let me tell you a story. I ran into a guy wearing an Untar armor for Spa Tour, and he tanked 11 bullets, 11 PS rounds, in his armor. You know, hit count 11, said like 600 damage to the armor, and 400 to him or something. I mean, it was dumb. I don't even know how he survived. This game sucks. Untar armor, it's going in B tier. Alright, so now we've hit the middle point, so now we're at the armored tack rigs. These can be your tactical rigs. I'm just going to give you a little opinion of mine. I hate tack rigs. I hate the idea of tack rigs. I do not like tack rigs. I love customization. I love being able to wear any armor vest with any rig I want. I don't like being limited. I don't like having my armor and tack rig in one. I don't like it. But with that being said, I gotta rate these, and I have worn some of these before. So the 6B3TM, if you take a look at this thing, no plates. It has titanium inserts. It has some crazy distribution going on here. Level 4 in the fronts, level 2 in the back. Kinda weighs a lot, not gonna lie. This thing's kinda gross. It's gonna go in the bottom of C tier. Alright, and then we have the Yuli Khaki. And then there's also the Yuli Flora. These two are different. They're not the same. Pay attention. Yuli Khaki is level 3 in the front and level 2 in the back. Yeah, this thing is kind of small inside, and it's a little yucky. It's going to go just above the diaper rig. All right, and then we have the Yuli. This one is level 4 in the front, and it's level 3 in the back. Level 2 in the neck. This thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds, which kind of sucks, but I'm going to put it just above the khaki. All right, then we have the Tic Tac, the 511 Tic Tac. Yeah, this thing doesn't do crap for you. This thing legit doesn't do anything for you. It's going in F tier, and because I hate tack rigs, it's going in the bottom. All right, then we have the Ars Arma. There's two. There is the A18 and the CPC. So the CPC Mod 1, it has front plates and side plates. It has some front aramid and side aramid. It's level 2. Now, I know I talked about this in the video. I said, oh, it's better than the Osprey Assault variant. There's a reason for that. This thing is craftable, and it produces GAC plates. Therefore, I like it. No, I'm not going to wear it. I don't like tack rigs. No, it's not good because I said it's better than the Osprey. It's good because it doesn't cost anything. If you want to look, doesn't particularly protect a whole lot, but being honest, I don't know why you're wearing a tack rig in the first place. Yeah, this one's going to the bottom of C. If you want to look at the A18, it's the exact same thing, just worse. All right, so looking at the Ospreys, this is kind of a hot topic. Hot topic in my other video, the Assault variant. So a lot of you think that I was talking about the protection variant. I wasn't. I know this thing ain't that bad. This one right here, you're paying 180k, 150k, you know, anywhere between that for level 2 aramid. Look at the side protection. Look, 8 HP in the neck, 12 HP in your shoulders. I promise you that this is not worth 150 to 180k. This is not going to save your life. This is not going to do anything for you. Not to mention, it weighs 5 trillion pounds. So, yeah, I do think this one is pretty yucky. It's going to go in the bottom of D. Now, the protection variant, it's different. It's got level 3 aramid. That's actually going to help you against something that's going to probably save your life. That is worth 150 to 200k. Not to mention, Peacekeeper will have a barter for this later. It's 3 SAS drives, and he gives you one of these. This thing is not that bad. This thing is going to go in the top of the tack rigs. Okay, if you look at the Tigella armor, it's just got level 2 aramid in the front and back. Oh, look, it doesn't protect anything. Yep. bottom, F tier. If you look at the M2 and the M1, ANA Tactical, it's got front and sides. You can take side plates. If you look at that, all right, that protects a little bit. Doesn't weigh that much if you look. The M1 weighs a little more. Look at that, it protects some stuff. It's not that bad. Level 2 air mid in both of these. It's not that bad. Not that bad ergo penalty. Cost on flea market, kind of steep. Not bad for this. Kind of steep for an M1 though. All right, so I'm gonna put the M1 in C tier. I'm gonna put it just below the Yuli, Flora, and I'm gonna put the M2 just below the Osprey. Cry Precision, AVS. This thing's got the front, back, and balls. If you look there, protects some stuff. 0 side protection, completely open sides, and it weighs 5 trillion pounds. This is gonna be funny. I want you to pay attention here. The AVS is an awesome storage component for your stash. It's an awesome storage component for your stash. Let me show you. This thing's a 3x4. Look at the inside. I love this thing. It costs barely anything, 100K on the flea market, and it's a 3x4, and it looks like that inside. This is going above the Osprey, and I recommend you buy this, and I recommend you put it in your stash for storage, to store things inside. All right, next we have the Eclipse RBAVAF. To be honest with you, I've never worn this thing before. This looks like a rogue armor to me. I don't like these things. The Strandhog looking armor, I don't like this, just from the looks. Level 2 air mid all around. Terrible side protection. It's got a little bit of balls protection. Look at the arm areas. Oh, look, it protects stuff. It's pretty cool. It does take side plates. I mean, it's not that bad. Let's look at the price. So it doesn't cost that much. It costs more than the M2. It's worse than the M2. It's going below the M2. It's going below the Yuli, actually. Okay, next we have the Strandhog. This thing, same problem as the other one. Let's look at the price. All right, it costs just a little less than the M2. Still going below Yuli, above the Eclipse. All right, next we have the Bagyuri. Yeah, this one's a little weird. So it takes the Korund plates in the front and takes the Korund plates in the back. Kind of strange. Level 2 air mid all around. It protects a little bit. Doesn't weigh that much. It's got a little bit of bad ergo pen. And if you look at the price, wow, look at that. You might as well just get the Prapor armor from Prapor and wear whatever vest you like. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of tack rigs. This one's just gonna go below the diaper rig. Okay, next we have the big pipe armor. You look at this. All right, level 2 air mid in the front and sides. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It doesn't have protection everywhere, not everywhere. And you know what? It kind of weighs a lot. Not to mention, look at that price. 100K for that. That is going below the Osprey. All right, then we take a look at the Vortec TV110. Just front and back. Let's look at the, okay, just front and back. So this is just a slick plate with pockets. Just a slick plate with pockets. Okay, then we have the shell back. Pretty sure this has the exact same problem. Yes, the shell back is also just a slick plate with some pockets. All right, if you look at the MMAC, all right, let's check the MMAC. It's got front, back, and sides. And look, it's just a slick plate with some pockets. All right, then we have the S&S Precision. Look at that, just some plates. This one is just some plates. All right, the Tasmanian Tiger. Oh, look at that. That one's also just some plates. I will say at the Tasmanian Tiger, I get this in my scav case a lot. You pay the scav some money and they come back with this. Costs a lot with Ragman, and it comes with level 6 E-Savvy plates. They're not that heavy for what it gives you. So this is good if you have it, to take the plates out and then sell the Ragman for some money. All right, then next we have those like default Bear and USEC armors. Yeah, these have the same problem. These are just slick plates with pockets. These are literally just slick plates with pockets. So yeah, they're both going just above the Tasmanian Tiger. And yeah, with that being said, this is my complete tier list of all the armors, all 51 armors in the game. So now that we reached that, I would just like to clarify, yes, I am very biased against tack rigs. A lot of you might like tack rigs. I don't. I prefer regular armor vests any day. Any day I like regular armor vests, but if you like tack rigs, this is the best I'm gonna give you. All these ones in C tier, these are the ones I think you should wear. If you made it to the end of this video and you're a subscriber to my channel, I'd just like to thank you guys personally. These videos are getting a lot more views than I ever expected, and you guys seem to like what I make, so that makes me pretty happy. If you guys have any videos you'd like me to make, just let me know in the comments and I'll respond below. And as always, thank you guys for watching.